What up, what up, what up, YouTube, man? It's your boy King Moses, live from the porch, man. I'm gonna try this joint out. This is gonna be my first one. But I'm able to get my little technology going on a little bit. So, you know what I mean? Hopefully this go ahead and work out and I'll be able to build on this or whatever. Like I said, this is for the know, not the show. But there's a lot of ideas and stuff that I had coming on in my mind that I wanted to, you know what I mean, to implement and make stuff work where it's better information for the people that's watching or be able to share out to the youngins, because that's my main focus is to get this information out to the youngins. A lot of the older dudes or whatever, dudes my age or like in their 20s, like mid to late 20s, can't really do nothing for them. You feel what I'm saying? But also too, I want to bring some awareness or whatever to some things or whatever. And I know like sometimes I go on a tangent and a rant. You feel what I'm saying? And I know the way the world is, you know, want to get that information out quick as possible, whatever. But again, this is not for no show. I'm not trying to do it no, you know what I mean, get a million views and just trying to just get lit and get all this clout or whatever. Like, this is real information sharing for me. And I want to share it to the brothers out there, whatever, that we have these conversations and just to kind of look and get another perspective of things or whatever. I'm not no expert. I'm not 100% right all the time or whatever, but it might be a situation where I could learn something as well too. So that's what's supposed to happen on the porch. It's not a location, it's a mindset of just being able to be, you know, strategic, smart, share information, talk amongst each other, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Build and just do better. You know what I'm saying? So this is what, you know, I'm trying to do, whatever. So, you know what I mean, saying like, subscribe, share, all that other shit or whatever. But I don't care if this don't go viral or whatever. That's not what it's for. It's for the know, not the show. So I wanted to make a couple of, little announcements or whatever, and just some thoughts that I was thinking about or whatever. So, you know, dudes, I don't understand why they keep doing this or whatever. They keep putting themselves in the box and they just go with these labels of, you know what I mean, things that they want to be and all this stuff, and it's hard to define this shit, yo. So like when niggas be like, oh yeah, I'm a real nigga, I'm a real man, like what does that exactly mean? Because you hear some shit from abroad when these gypsy Jezebel bedwenches, they say that shit, they might have a definition of what that is, and then you just take it and run with it, not knowing what the fuck is going on. And then you just be like, oh, well, that's what a real nigga's supposed to be. Everybody has a different definition. And then you tell this shit to a broad, and she's like, you not real. That's not real to me. So I want dudes to stop using these labels. Stop putting yourself in a box and stop trying to define yourself to people who really don't know or don't give a fuck. So when you come with these fucking terms like, oh, I'm a street nigga, like, what does that really mean? Because you sold some drugs? Does that mean you're a street nigga? Or that you a gangster? Like, what does that mean? Like, it's a bunch of coward motherfuckers that, you know, can sell some drugs or whatever in an area. Like, that's not cool, and that doesn't make you gangster or whatever. So, but they hear it on a rap song. They hear one of these gypsy Jezebel bedwenches talking about this shit on TikTok or whatever, and they take it and run with it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of dudes get shit based off of what the girls is talking about, and whatever they talking about, that's what they try to conform to. Like, oh, this is what we need to be in order to get the attention from the girl. That's usually how it is. So you got a lot of these broads just saying a whole bunch of dumb shit or speaking real misinformed and just setting y'all up to do dumb shit. And just be like, oh, well, I got him. And niggas is just running with that. Like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be this person because this IG model told me to do it. And it's shit crazy, man. So when you hear these terms, and I wrote down 4 specifically. So a real man. You know what I mean? Where they'll say, oh, a real man would pay my bills. A real man would fly me out. You get what I'm saying? And then niggas starting to see these terms on Twitter and hearing this shit on fucking TikTok and all these fucking videos and IG shit. And they like, oh, well, you're not a real man. If you're not, fuck that. That's your definition, not mine. So that is a very gray area on what that is. But stop trying to put yourself on that cape of a label Like this is because everybody got their definition and it's debatable. We can agree to disagree on it. Just because you say it is doesn't mean that's the case. That's the facts. And there's some shit that's very definable. But these vague terms, these vague labels, y'all need to stop this shit. Because it's not clear. You know what I mean? So real man, street nigga. Not even really gonna get into all that or whatever because I just think that's just a dumb term anyway, or whatever, and just like it's stupid. High value man, which was something really popularized by Kevin Samuel, whatever, and a lot of these niggas sound real dumb saying that shit to these broads or whatever. As soon as they hear that shit, they already start trick. Oh, like you one of them. You one of those manosphere niggas. You one of those niggas that's hypnotized under Kevin Samuel and all this other shit. So certain shit that you say like that, whatever, just already going to turn people off to you, whatever. But again, what does a high value man mean? Does that mean like because you make a lot of money? Like that shit is a vague term. Still, it's the motherfuckers that could be like, all right, making 100,000, 500,000, or whatever. Do all this and do that. It doesn't mean that your values are high. It doesn't mean that you have like you're a high value man if you don't have any kids and all that or whatever, but you doing the bare minimum, you still live with your mother. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has a different set of values. What that means. Also a high traditional man. I hear that shit because of the Keke Palmer shit and the nigga that was fucking with him talking about he was a high traditional man. So then when you start saying these terms that already puts people against you, whatever, because they want to combat you, like, well, like you made it seem like you're better than other people, and why is that? And then they start to compare and contrast, like, oh, well, you better than me because you only make 100. I make 200,000. So how are you better than me? Oh, well, you know, you say you're a traditional man, but you're not living traditional values because you ain't married the girl and y'all got baby out of wedlock. You know what I'm saying? Now, he might be traditional compared to today's values. You know what I mean? But what kind of tradition are you talking about? The traditional 1950s, 60s person where, oh yeah, your significant other don't work. She's a housewife, a homemaker, or whatever the fuck, and you take care of all the bills and all that shit, and she's not allowed to do that type of tradition. You see what I'm saying? Where it's real vague, but you put yourself in a box and you already inviting dialogue that's not going to be for you. It's going to be people that's trying to bait you and argue you down, and you invited yourself to that. Well, you didn't have to do that. And the last one I wrote broke nigga because you got a lot of bras that throw this out or whatever, and then the niggas that use this is usually the fucking pandering ass niggas that's trying to jump on the bandwagon of the bitch so he can get some pussy from or whatever and get in good graces. But like, what does broke mean? Does it mean that I'm not spending on it? And like, what does that mean? Because there's a lot of niggas that got a lot of money that's broke. Like, I mean, technically you can define that to an extent. Just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean that you're rich. You might make a lot of money but have a lot of expenses. You could also make a certain amount of money, like 75, 80, and have little to no expenses or no debt. That doesn't mean you're broke. You could be comfortable. Like, it's a lot of niggas that make a whole lot of money that's got a lot of debt or whatever, and technically they're broke, but because they got jewelry, they out here taking people on dates and splurging, going to the strip club or whatever, that means that they're rich or they're not broke. That's crazy, but appearance is everything nowadays in this Gypsy Jezebel era where everybody got to be seen and everybody wants some attention, and if you got something, you got to show it off. So I feel comfortable. You call me broke all you want to because I don't spend a lot of money, whatever, and I don't need to have people come to me because as soon as you think you got some money, they're going to come after you anyway. So, you know, that's usually for the dudes that just like, oh, well, I got to show off that I got some money because that's my advantage. And honestly, it is an advantage to an extent, whatever, because, I mean, that's the easy, cheap way out or whatever to get some attention from some bras or, you know, get some pussy. You get what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of prostitution out here. And the motherfuckers don't even know that they're even prostituting. But they carry it the way they carry it. It is really prostitution. So, motherfuckers got to stop with these label shit. Because like I said, people that don't know no better hear these things and think that this is the word, this is the gospel, this is the law. And it's not. So if you can't define it clearly on what that means, and somebody can't debate you up and down like, okay, well, you said this, but I got this. Does that make me that? Am I a broke nigga if I'm making 100,000? Some women think 100,000 is broke. They was calling the Keke Palmer nigga broke because she's a millionaire and he's not. Doesn't mean he's broke. He might have less money than her and is less famous. And because he was out here saying, oh, well, he wants this from his significant other, he don't want her to do this, they call him broke. They wouldn't have said that if he was fucking, like, this is counting pocket shit or whatever. It's crazy. So it's like, y'all gotta stop this shit. Men gotta stop this shit. Let the bitches do that shit, because at the end of the day, you can't tell them nothing. It's up to men to make the decision on, like, this is how we gonna carry it or whatever. That's it. They can agree or disagree. They can be mad all they want to. But at the end of the day, we as men say that this is what's going down and what's not going down. So I say, in my humble opinion, niggas need to stop conforming to these fucking general ass labels that are hard to define. Because you're setting yourself up for failure. And setting this shit up for that shit to be used against you by these gypsy Jezebel bedwenches to get what they want. And that ain't what's up. Now, we went off with the labels or whatever. And the second part that I'm going to get into is this tricking shit. Now, I always go on these fucking, rants and shit or whatever. And I've talked about tricking before. I don't subscribe to it or whatever. I don't agree with it. You feel what I'm saying? I've always asked, like, I would want to get a perception of somebody that pays for pussy or like subscribes to this fucking notion that tricking is the way and all this shit, right? So like I said, this is the shit, I go on Twitter a lot because I see a lot of shit. Now, some of it might be realistic, like people really feel this way, and some of it might be just motherfuckers just saying shit just for entertainment purposes, right? So before I get into the whole video or whatever, right, about the motherfucker talking this shit, here's the reason why I think that a lot of shit is fucked up or whatever already. Because you got a lot of women that want to be tricked on, but don't feel that they are prostitutes. They don't want to be treated like prostitutes, but they want the fucking gifts of prostitution. So, for example, if a nigga is just on some shit like this is strictly transactional, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, leave me the fuck alone. After I'm done with you, I would say more than half of women would stop doing what they're doing because they don't want to feel dirty. They don't want to feel like they want more respect, right? You got half now that's on that shit. Like, okay, I'm just trying to get this money. Fuck this shit, right? Now, I'm going to say half, right? But then you got a lot of these broads that want to be prostitutes and act like prostitutes, but then want to be treated like wives and girlfriends. So they want the best of both worlds. They want to be tricked on and get all the money of the prostitution, but then want to be treated with respect like a girlfriend or a fucking wife. And niggas is giving them the best of both worlds. That's the main thing that I hate the most out of all this tricking shit, because you're not keeping it real. And you have these miscommunications and blurred lines and shit where people just get fucked up about like, oh yeah, well, this is like, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They just going with the flow, in the motion. So then you got these broads that like get mad when a real one come to them, or somebody that comes with them with some honest and upfront shit. And when they tell them, no, this is not happening, or it's not going this way, they don't get the best of both worlds. They get one or the other. Then they get upset. And they're like, oh, well, like, no. Now, you can want the best of both worlds, but if you say that from the jump, and the nigga's still willing to do that, cool. And then if he reneges on his agreement, then you can have a right to bitch and complain about that shit. But if you acting like you trying to do all the sneaky shit, you act like you in it for the money and you want to get splurged on or whatever, and then he do that, but then you try to come on some relationship shit, and he like, nah, that's your fault. You're leading him on. You're not being upfront. And that's why niggas be lying. Now, I'm on the porch. I know back in my day, that was the main thing that I just avoided doing was lying. And when I mean lying, I mean specifically lying, like not on some game shit, like, oh yeah, well, the bitch think I play basketball or whatever, and all that or whatever. I'm not going to tell her no, but I'm not, you know what I mean? Or like, yeah, I might tell her some shit just for some game. I'm overseas, right? Just because I'm telling her what she want to hear at the time, right? And then, that's not no big deal. It's like, oh, well, that's not true. I'm like, well, bitch, why you ask for it then? You get what I'm saying? Not going out of my way to lie. Some of it is game. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference between game. Where it's like, yeah, oh, you tell a girl, you the sexiest woman in hands down. That could be a lie. But that's still game where it's like, it's not necessarily the truth, but that can't be proven. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's a gray area, whatever, between game and just flat out lying and just out together. Like, you're not going to lie. Like, that's not no game in, oh, well, I got a wife at home. Well, let me just flip this, right? A nigga being single and putting on a ring, acting like he's married because he even heard that bras is attracted to married men. That's not game, that's lying. Now, that could be a part of his game. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, in the game, you got rules, but rules can be broken and nobody's really enforcing it. So it's just like, I mean, it's one of those ones where if you playing the game, whatever, and you don't get caught, then whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dirty tricks in the book or whatever. Niggas fucking undercutting their homeboys. You feel what I'm saying? Throwing their boys under the bus to get some pussy. You feel what I'm saying? Niggas out here perpetrating about what they do for a living, where they work. You know what I'm saying? Renting cars to try to front, or renting houses to try to impress. It's a lot of shit. We can go in a whole nother video with that shit. But I'm going to stick to the blatant, full out lying shit. That's the problem, where I never felt comfortable and I never wanted to lie to a broad or lead a broad on to be like, okay, this is going to be more than what it is. So that's why I never took broads out on dates like that I was just trying to fuck. I'm going to reiterate that again. I never took broads out that I was trying to fuck. Now, if I'm interested in you and trying to get to know you and like I'm really kind of feeling you and we got a vibe and I want to see more about you, then I will initiate a date. But I never was like, oh yeah, well, all right, this broad fat as shit or whatever. She might not want to come to the crib off the rip. Let me go meet her at the bar, or let's go out to eat, get some drinks, and then try to smash. That was never my MO. I disagree with the way niggas do that or whatever, but that's just a part of the game or whatever. That's just not me. I could have got a whole bunch more girls or whatever. I would have been like, yeah, well, I'm going to spend some money on you to go to this place, that place. Fuck even the money. All right, we're just going to go to the bar, or let's take a walk in the park, get some coffee, whatever. Like, I shut off that emotional part of me when I was out in the streets doing it, because I knew I only wanted one thing. And I made that very clear, so it wouldn't be no, oh yeah, well, you led me on. Now I'm going to stalk you and I'm going to cut your tires out and die all this shit or whatever. I didn't want none of that shit. I don't want no thin line between love and hate type of scenario. So that's why I kept it clear about like, nah, we not doing that or whatever. Like, this is how I'm rocking. At general best, we friends, we cool, whatever, and all that. We chill, hang or whatever, in my crib or your crib or whatever. But I'm doing me. And obviously you're doing you, whatever. So what the problem is? So I always kept it 100. when it came to that. The problem I'm seeing out here now is a lot of niggas ain't doing that shit. Broads is just falling for it and then getting mad afterwards that they didn't do their due diligence or whatever and they got caught with the okie doke. Which ain't my problem. Because bitches don't listen. But it's up to y'all niggas to stop doing that shit. Because, like I said, that's the game fucked up now or whatever. It's like you could have got not all of them, but still the majority of the bitches that y'all was getting at by just keeping it real and telling the truth. To be honest. And then the ones that you didn't get or whatever just wasn't meant to be. But it's just like it's hard to keep playing that fucking role where, you know, like that keeping up that persona, that character that I don't know, man. But like I said, I think about these kids, man. Look at how these kids look at it. Like, okay, they y'all want them to do the shit that y'all doing. That it ain't tricking if you got it shit. You got, man, fuck all that shit, man. Oh, gotta lie to him because I'm like, listen, if a nigga's like this and he's interested in a woman, yo, I'm not knocking that at all. Not knocking that at all. But all this shit just for some pussy, whatever, and then you end up gonna be doing the same shit and then you get busted when you with your main joint or whatever, or your girlfriend or wife or whatever, and then you doing the exact same thing to another bitch that you just trying to fuck. That's not substantial. It's hard to keep up. And then niggas, I don't know, niggas get mad when they get busted and shit, whatever. But I understand why niggas is buying pussy now. I don't agree with it, but I'm starting to see now, whatever. And then when you do the math, it is easier and it's less hassle than doing all this dating shit, quote unquote, when you can just pay for some pussy. Again, I don't agree with it, but now I'm starting to understand why, because my mentality is pussy is free, which it is. And there's some things I'm going to discuss later on why, like, even if you're doing that, that doesn't mean that you can't still date or still try to get at bras for free. And that's where my problem is with the tricking niggas. You know what I'm saying? But play this video or whatever for this. I don't know who this nigga is, because I don't know a lot of these young niggas or whatever. This nigga had this little viral video with this broad, Keisha, whatever the fuck, she was on Power, and they was on a podcast together, and they was talking about if he was to cheat, she wouldn't leave, or some bullshit. Like, why would you even invite that? That was some wild gypsy nigga shit or whatever, right? But this nigga went in this video, goddamn, about to show you, and was talking this bullshit. Hold on, let me pull it up and see what the fuck going on. Make sure I got this right. See what this nigga talking about.
Want to buy no girl nothing, and you talking about you feel like you a simp. You don't want to get their hair done. You don't want to get their nails done. You don't want to do nothing for them. You don't want to send them no little cash app, no little Zelle to make them feel good for the day. You don't want to take them on no date. Leave them type of girls alone. Leave them type of girls alone. You know what them type of girls look like. If you can't afford that girl, leave her alone. Because guess what? It is a group of men. It's a society of men. They want them type of girls, and we will take care of them. You feel me? We gonna make them feel safe. Baby, you want to cash out? You need them nails done? You ain't even have to ask me. I'm gonna look at the nails. You feel me? There you go. You want to go eat, baby? I'm gonna eat anyway. She is safe with us.
Now, there's some parts of that shit that I agree with and that I disagree with. Hold on, let me replay this shit again or whatever, so we can talk through this shit.
Want to buy no girl nothing, and you talking about you feel like you a simp. You don't want to get their hair done. You don't want to get their nails done. You don't want to do nothing for them. You don't want to send them no little cash app, no little Zelle to make them feel good for the day. You don't want to take them on no date. Leave them type of girls alone. Leave them type of girls alone. You know what them type of girls look like. If you can't.
Now I agree with that. Now, like I said, you know, that's why I'm saying niggas need to do their due diligence, get their motherfucking research on these bras or whatever. You know the type of bras that's on that type of shit, and they just not for you. There's nothing that you can do. It's like sometimes it's be like, man, fuck it, it ain't for me. I don't need it. You could do it where you could try to do all this shit, but at the end of the day, if that's not your get down, ain't no point in trying to metamorphose into some other nigga that you feel is simping to try to get the bitch. It's just not meant for you. So I agree with that.
Can't afford that girl, leave her alone. Because guess what? It is a group of men. It's a society of men. They want them type of girls, and we will take care of them. You feel me?
Trick babies. Trick baby ass niggas. That's the type of nigga. And like I said, certain niggas is just for them. At that point in time. Because them same bitches will get tired of them trick baby niggas. It's like, oh, well, he just, possessive and all he want to do is spend money on me, whatever. I might want somebody that wants me for me as a girl and is emotionally invested in me. And ain't gonna be one of them niggas. So at that point in time in her life, when she's on that type of shit, they are for them. Simp niggas. But shit changes. Because like I said, a lot of these bras don't even know what the hell they want. They'll metamorphose into somebody else, or they be feeling some type of different nigga, and that's just the way it is. And all that safe shit or whatever they talking about, that's false. Because at the end of the day, them type of bras, they like different type of niggas. So you might have them safely for the moment until they change their mind. They're over you and they're going to go to something else.
We gonna make them feel safe. Baby, you want the cash out? You need them nails done? You ain't even got to ask me. I'm gonna look at the nails. You feel me?
Yeah, and see, this is what the shit happens where you got these bras that be seeing these type of niggas, lame ass niggas. Like, niggas be thinking that this is the look that they gotta do to show off, to make it look like they got money, whatever. He might got some money, whatever. I don't know, but he just looks weird, real weird. Like the fucking, I can tell the jury's fake or whatever. And a lot of these motherfuckers, even if they got it or whatever, like, it looks weird and corny. Or they'll do shit where they'll rent a fucking Tesla, get fake ass jewelry. Bitches see this shit, don't know. And I don't see nothing dancing on the motherfucking jewels, not one bit at all. And this is what happens. Niggas go to get this fake ass mall jewelry and shit or whatever, because the bitches don't know the difference. They just see me with jewelry on or whatever. They don't know, so it look like it's real. That means that I look like I got money, and that's how I gets them all the motherfucking time.
There you go. You want to go eat, baby? I'm gonna eat anyway. She is safe with us.
So the bitches want to hear that type of shit. Like, oh yeah, well, you got this. You taking care of this. You taking care of that. The bitches want to hear that type of shit, man. So I see this shit or whatever. So then I'm going on the motherfucking Twitter or whatever. So this is the crazy thing, right? So, I be seeing this wild, crazy shit or whatever with these bras on here where they're talking this shit. So I went on in this little gypsy broad or whatever. She didn't have really much to say, but she said, if a man feels this way, if a man feels a way about this, then just don't be in a relationship. So she's basically trying to say that, like, oh yeah, if a man isn't trying to fucking spend money on you and do all this or whatever, then he's not worth being in a relationship with, right? So then she used that, and then she added this fucking video on it for some fucking gypsy Jezebel broad. You can tell the type. They got the lace fronts or whatever. They all on fucking TikTok. And listen to the scenario of what this bitch is saying. This is what, and this is the thing that I'm trying to tell niggas that's coming up. This is what they think about y'all. If it ain't about no money or whatever, they don't have no use for you, whatever, you're always going to be the villain. You're always going to be the bad guy. Everything that you did was wrong. Everything that you fucking didn't do, you're lame, or you ain't a man, and all this bullshit or whatever. You lied to them or whatever and all this shit. So that's why it's like, you keep that shit cut and dry. You know the crazy thing is, bitches used to call me an asshole because I told them the truth. I refused. I could have took the easy way out and just lied to him. You know how many times I could have lied to a bro? Like, yeah, I'm really feeling you. I want to be in a relationship with you, just to fucking just ghost her. I could have been doing that shit. That's the easy way route. I didn't want to do that shit because that just didn't sit right with me, with my morals and my values. I'm like, I'm going to keep it real. It's been a whole bunch of bras I could have just like, yeah, let's go out on a date. I'll go ahead, pay this food or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Take her back to the crib, fuck her, whatever. And then that's what it is. But then even when you start doing that, there's still a problem. Because like, well, you just play with my emotions, whatever. I'm like, well, what if I would have told you the truth or whatever? Then you would have been on bullshit. You're not gonna win for losing as a man or whatever. So it's just like you can't really worry about this shit. All you can do is what you feel is best for you. So I mean, some niggas feel comfortable with the lying shit or whatever. I'm just telling you, you don't really have to do that. But listen to what this broad got to talk about as far as like, oh, if niggas is like this, don't be in a relationship. Watch this bullshit.
At me on the day, or you're going to get the fuck out of my face. So I'm sitting up here. I've been texting this dude, and I just flat out said, I'm like, why you haven't taken me on a date yet? I ain't say nothing else other than why we haven't went nowhere yet. That's all I said. Like, why we haven't done nothing. This motherfucker got the audacity to tell me, oh, I don't do the little dates and stuff like that. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not that type of dude. Like, I'm pretty sure you've probably been on dates with 100 dudes. What the fuck that got to do with you? So, mid-paragraph, when I read that, I completely stopped reading whatever the fuck else he had to say, and I straight up said, oh, well, we might as well just go ahead and stop talking now, because I don't know what the fuck you think this is. Y'all, when I said that shit, this motherfucker went from Michael B. Jordan to fucking Saucy Santana. I was like, the fuck, why did you get so fucking sassy with me? Like, I didn't do nothing to you. And then he started going into his podcast man mindset. He was like, see, that's what's wrong with you females. You females think that you can get whatever you... Yeah, I straight blocked his ass in the middle of typing. I know he mad. Like, but who the fuck do you think you are? You mad at me because I don't want to settle for less than what I know I deserve? The fuck? I'm asking you to take a bitch to a movie. I'm asking you to take a bitch to go get something to eat. Why the fuck would you cuff a fat bitch and don't want to feed her? Like, I'm not understanding. Get the fuck up off my phone. At the end of the day.
So... you heard what the bra said or whatever. So, from my perspective, first of all, from what it seemed like to me, first of all, this has nothing to do with no relationship. Because, like, it sounds to me like one or two things probably happened. The nigga was talking to the broad or whatever. He already done smashed. Or, like, there was no discussion about the intentions from either side. Because my main rule with these bras, and that's why I said these niggas don't try to argue with these bras with this shit. Because you see how she said something about the podcast man mentality and shit. They don't want to listen. They don't give a fuck. They don't listen. They hear what they want to hear, and anything else other than that, whether it's the truth or what, they don't want to hear that shit. But my main thing is with these broads or whatever, and I'm telling this to niggas, that y'all need to have this mentality. Shouldn't no broad be asking y'all to do anything. Okay? Niggas dictate what goes on. Whether it's we gonna be in a relationship, we're gonna get married, we're gonna go move, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna go on a date. The man initiates all of those actions. It's already from jump or whatever, because first of all, yes, you have some fucking exceptions to the rule. You might have a situation where a broad is real aggressive to you, whatever, comes up and books you, or like, hey, let's exchange numbers or whatever, we can talk. But that's very rare. 9.9 times out of 10, a nigga has to initiate the conversation with the broad, close the deal, and get her number or whatever, get her information to continue the conversation going forward. Now, we can debate that all one, but that's from my perspective. Niggas initiate the conversation and where it goes and how long it goes and what's the next step after that. Now, if you already have it in your mind that you're just trying to fuck and you want some shit where, all right, this is what I want to do. You shouldn't have to, a broad shouldn't have to ask you, so when are we going to fuck? Now, she could say this is some rarity shit, but 9.9 times out of 10, it's the man that's making the move. Or making the shit happen where, all right, well, I'm going to try to get her to the crib so I can try to fuck. The intention is clear. If a nigga wants to take you out on a date, a woman should not have to ask. That's thirsty, as the young kids say. Desperate. Hobo-ish. That's crazy. And then, like I said, the signs are already there when you see these bras that be asking for dates and all this shit. That means that they're oppressed and they're either used to niggas, like they don't care for you. They don't care for you. They're just focused on what you can do for them And that's it. And the only other ones that ask like that are prostitutes. That's it. So when bras, that was always a red flag for me. If a broad asked me where I work, because they already trying to calculate how much money I'm making, or if I'm cool enough or famous enough or whatever, and all this bullshit. But when a broad asks me to take, red flag, that should be end of the conversation. Don't even try to debate with them. Don't even try to, well, you should. Nah. Fuck out of here. But this broad is mad and made a whole fucking TikTok video talking about the nigga was mad. When all the reality, she's more mad that the nigga was even fucking her, ain't take her out on a date, and now she's like, well, when we gonna go on a date? When we gonna go to eat or go to the movies? So either one of the two things happened. They'd already fucked. He got what he wanted, whatever. He wanted to keep it going. Then she wanted more. Or they were already talking or whatever, chit-chatting or whatever, and he's still trying to fill her out or whatever. Or just on some more, I'm waiting for the right time to try to get her over to the crib. But if a nigga was talking to you and it's like, man, I want to see you, they would have been like, man, I want to see you, you know what I mean? Let's go out to eat. Let's go to date or whatever. Or come over to the crib. No broad should be having to ask that shit. Y'all bitches look crazy. The bitches look crazy doing that shit, man. And it's like, listen, ain't no point in trying to shame in these bras because they don't know no better. Actions speak louder than words. So the more them bitches keep doing that shit, cut them bitches off. They can cry and complain all they want to, whatever, but at the end of the day, they just gonna be crying a river. But I'm gonna play that shit back or whatever so you can hear the whole steps or whatever, and I'm gonna stop them when I got something to say.
Or you're going to get the fuck up out my face. So I'm sitting up here, I've been texting this dude, and like...
And she been texting now. She probably was the one pressing him or whatever, so she probably thought that he had something, whatever. But that could be wrong. But it seemed like she was pressed. She was hitting him up. That's what I'm going off her words.
I'm like, I just flat out said, I'm like, why you haven't taken me on a date yet? Like you like, I ain't say nothing else other than why we haven't went nowhere yet. That's all I said. Like why we haven't done it.
Yeah, why we ain't went nowhere yet? She pressed. She pressed. And she feel entitled because, like I said, she probably used to niggas bowing down to her and like, man, I want the pussy so bad. I'll just go ahead and do it. My bad. Fuck that. Look at her.
The fuck got the audacity to tell me, oh, I don't do the little dates and stuff like that. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not that type of dude. Like, I'm pretty sure you've probably been on dates with 100 dudes. What the fuck that got to do with you?
She ain't deny it either. So she's a serious, so she ain't deny it. So he already know the game, whatever. And to be truthfully honest or whatever, the dude probably was like, see, you got some people that just be making these type of videos and the shit really didn't happen and they just imagine some shit up or whatever and they just want to be on some pick me shit so they can find these fucking pandering ass niggas, these trick baby ass niggas like, man, I wouldn't have done you like that. I'll treat you better. He can't love you the way I love you, old jagged edge ass niggas and shit. They be doing these pick me ass videos all the fucking time. So it could be a situation, this shit didn't even happen, but she just thunked this shit up on her imagination. You feel what I'm saying? So some niggas, because I guarantee if you go in the tweets, I'll look on here, whatever, some niggas that's talking this shit, oh, black Nubian queen, I wouldn't have did you like that. You know, we can go out, all this bullshit. Just the oldest trick in the book, reverse psychology, for goodness sake. But, all that shit, this shit is bullshit, man. This shit real bullshit.
So, mid-paragraph, when I read that, I completely started reading whatever the fuck else he had to say, and I straight up said, oh, well, we might as well just go ahead and stop talking now, because I don't know what the fuck you think this is. Y'all, when I said that shit, this motherfucker went from Michael B. Jordan to fucking Saucy Santana. I was like, the fuck, why did you get so fucking sassy with me? Like, I didn't do nothing to you. And then he started going into his podcast man mindset. He was like, see, that's what's wrong with you females.
Oh, that's the other thing they try to do. When you start trying to debate them, whatever, they call you gay. They saying you acting sassy, you acting like a female, all this shit or whatever. And like I said, they try to shame you. And this is just a defense mechanism to try to manipulate you know what I mean, you to fucking conform to what they talking about. To try to control you. It's just reverse psychology. So they'll try to say you gay, you less of a man, they'll try to shame you, all this other shit.
You females think that you can get whatever you. Yeah, I straight blocked his ass in the middle of typing. I know he mad. Like, but who the fuck do you think you are? You mad at me because I don't want to settle for less than what I know I deserve? The fuck? I'm asking you to take a bitch to a movie. I'm asking you to take a bitch to go get something to eat. Why the fuck would you cuff a fat bitch and don't want to feed her? Like, I'm not understanding. Get the.
Yeah, so, and my thing is too, whatever, she can ask for whatever the hell she want. So I'm gonna tell you what I told this goddamn Gypsy Jezebel broad in these goddamn comments or whatever. So I said, that's not a relationship. You are just viewed as fucking only. That's from my opinion. That's what it looked like. So then the broad said, if that was the case, he shouldn't have got mad at her. I said, I think she was more mad than he was. Most important question is, why is a woman asking a man about why we ain't go out nowhere? No woman should have to ask a man for a date. If a nigga wants to, he will initiate it. That's why she was mad. She said, that's true, but for him to get mad at the question when he wasn't on anything serious is odd. And I said, let me see. Hold on.